Pigeons is a way of life to us here. It's a way of life. It's just like the garden. I mean, you get away from everything. You can relax in the garden. I mean, you might have an argument with a wife, but you still come down to the garden and forget about it. You've got friends at the garden. It's the allotments around here. It's like a community, man. It's a community. Aye.
It's a place to get away from the stresses and strains of everyday life. If you're married, it's to get away from the wife at times. It's just a place to be there with your own thoughts.
Well, basically it's a family affair. It's one of these things that you start when you're young, when you go with your grandparents. My grandfather was a chauffeur and gardener. I used to go around and help him. I mean, we all muck in and get on with the job, like, you know. I mean, as far as the vegetables go in the garden, we prefer fresh veggies to bought stuff, you know, and we supply our own veg. I'm not one for sitting around, and I've always been a one for working. I put my arm wholeheartedly goes into the garden. I can come here at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'll still be here at 4 o'clock in the night. I'll just plug away and get on with the job. I'll go down tonight at, say, 4:30, have my tea, come back up and lock up, and then go down and relax after that. I mean, I look forward to it. The stuff that I put in this garden, I intended to show in September. Didn't matter where it was going, as long as it was on the bench. I mean, I didn't care whether I won or lose as long as I competed. I mean, it's not winners that make sure, it's losers. If there was no losers, there'd be no winners, would there?
I've kept pigeons for 51 years. Right away, by 52 years with this year coming. And I've never been without pigeons. It's such a fascinating hobby. And that's what it is. It's not a sport to us, it's a hobby and everything, and it's a form of relaxation for us. We've always liked it. I've always liked it. We'll breed our pigeons, we'll race them. We'll compete against each other on the weekend, and the next thing we'll say to each other, say, oh, well, you won this week, I bet next week, yeah, I bet you didn't beat me next week, and you know, and that's the competition what we do, and that's how fascinating it is.
Come on, babies, where are you at?
From leaving home at 5:30, I don't get back home till maybe 7:15 on the evening. I've got to come straight round and do the birds. So it's not for the faint-hearted. If you don't put the time in, you will not get your success. If anybody gets a good one on you, obviously the congratulations go a long way, you know.
Well, I keep golden pheasants, ducks, horses, geese, pigeons. Basically, it cost me. I come from a big family. My sister's got a lot of kids. I was going to build them a fort and that, but I had another tower up there I was going to build 4, but council stopped us. We all say to pull together, like I say, and they feed the ducks and that, bring the kids up every Sunday. It's usually chocolate going up, and a few people go up and down there feeding the ducks and that. But you've got to watch how much they feed the horses, like, because he gets a bit too fat, like he'll stop eating the grass.
All the time that I've been here, we've never had any trouble with the police, we've never had any trouble with the residents, we've never had any trouble with bands, anything like that, because this is what it is. It's a little park. they needn't come and break things up. The door's open.
It's a very, very friendly atmosphere, and especially this particular allotment patch.
If you ask my wife, she'll tell you that if she ever comes back into this world, she wants to come back as a daily because they got more attention.
They call themselves developers, but they're not. They're only just greedy, bloody men, that's all they are. We stuck together, and that's the only way to beat these developers' mind, is stick together. I mean, there wasn't only just the allotments here. This is a community, like Ryhope is a community. There might be, I think there's about 30,000 people living in Ryhope, but we had the backing of all of Ryhope. And if you've got the backing of the people, you can beat anybody. There's no danger about that. But as far as the developers concerned, I want nothing to do with them. No, the bad people. They're only greedy, that's all it is.
Absolute devastation. You know, I mean, if I never had an allotment, it's hard to describe to somebody who hasn't got an allotment the devastation that it would cause. I mean, it's your life, or part of your life anyway. I mean, I've got the wife and I've got the grandbairns there now, but there's still, that is one part of life, but the allotment is another part of life.
Oh, we'll fight it. We'll fight it. The lads at Ryhope there have just won a big case. Where their lofts had to come down, their gardens and that, and we would be the same. These gardens have been here for 100 years, and the council just kind of come along and say, we want to take that off you to put a bypass or build houses. We just won't let it happen. Well, I just couldn't be, I don't think I could move anywhere else, to be honest. If I had to get off the garden, I couldn't go through the rigmarole and build myself a new loft.
Most of these gardens will be getting going anyway. Do you reckon? The bottom gardens down there, them will be going, houses are going to get built on it, all across here. These will probably stay up, these are bigger allotments. But we'll probably end up moving after about 5 or 6 years, all of us, me and the bottom ones.
A developer bought the land, and within a few months while we got our notice, like, well, that's when the men, and I like to stress that word, the men, because that's what they were. We stood up.
If developers want to build new houses somewhere, let them go and build on the brown belt. That's the main thing in this country, build on the brown belt. There's houses lying Dialect and Sunderland, Newcastle, all over the place, brown belt. But they didn't want to build them on brown belt because all the brown belts, they've got bad names, see?
They are presently at risk from another developer. We have been getting surveyors at the present time, doing a land survey, which they say it's just to cover things, but we also know that the developers is ready for to move in. This is a thing throughout the country. From what I can gather throughout the country, nationwide, this is happening. Developers, entrepreneurs are seizing on the chance to take the little men, the little allotment holders, for everything that they've got. They don't care, they haven't got no mercy, no feelings. It's all down to plain and simple money.
If the council do go ahead with the plans, then they'll have a war on hands. They'll definitely we'll be fighting.
I wouldn't start a new garden from now on, no. And if I shifted from here, oh no, I'll be broken, man. I'll be broken, man. It's a sad when you get fellas and just come and say, well, I bought this bit of land, few coppers, I bought it, get off, I'm gonna build houses on it.
Our gardens, they're not Kensington gardens. They're not palaces. But they're our homes, though. And this is where the community spirit come in, and we all kept up. And what happened was the media got hold of the story, the Southern Echo, and they come into the national press. Top of the bill, what I would call the top of the bill, and the cream came on the cake then, is when Mr. Banks came. and put together get the sports minister to come to a little local allotments. That was a great honour, that.
When it comes through and it said, Mr. Surtees, your pigeon cray's been made a great two-listed building. Oh, what a great feeling. I was out of the mood. Proud, really proud, definitely.
We lit the candles on the cake that day. And then when Maurice came and told us that he'd gotten a letter and everything like that, and said that it had been made a listed building, well, I know Maurice cried, and I think a lot of people in Ryhope cried now.
We got an offer of £1,000 in a bit of land somewhere else, but you can't do that, man. I wouldn't take 50,000. I wouldn't take £50,000 a month out of here. No, I've been here too long. No, I'm in a way of life now and I didn't want to change it. That's all there is to it. I'm content now, and so is all the lads on the gardens. As far as we're concerned, nobody can build on this land now. Nobody. As long as I'm here. Oh no, in the loft will always be here. I'll make sure of that.
What we want is a change in the law. We want to say that all allotments, what are at the present time, be kept as allotments. That's what I would love to see throughout the country at the present time. I would love for the law to be changed and that allotments be kept as allotments. Nothing else. No developers can move in, nor the allotment holders can sell the land. I would prefer it to be kept as allotments.